Good morning and welcome to Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television. I am Kendi Bodumi.
And I am Henry Igwebike.
Okay, it's the start of a new day and we are so glad to have you on the show today. We'll kick off with today's newspaper review before diving into the main conversation of the day. Trust me, you don't want to miss a moment. You can join the conversation by dropping your comments, liking, and following us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. So joining us today to share the matters at hand is Barrister Evans Ufeni. He is a barrister and a public affairs analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barrister.
Thank you. Good morning.
Welcome.
Yes.
All right, let's kickstart today, this morning, with some newspapers on our desk, and particularly I would love that we start with the Punch newspaper for today. And the big story, countdown to 2027, Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week, and we have just one rider to that story. Yakubu steps aside, the president consults a council of states selection process on the spotlight.
All right, so on the top strip, we have displaced Borno residents recount Boko Haram invasion.
And also we have World Bank dismisses Nigeria's single-digit inflation target.
Still on the top strip, we have how Abbas intervention stalled minority leaders' impeachment.
And also below that story, on the downwards strip there, we have Tinubu access to National Assembly bills over policy clash.
Still on that, we have cultists kill 4 in Lagos, Ogun communities.
And police pension rally for protest after talks collapse. Yeah, so let's get to our talking point for today. Science Minister Uche Nnaji finally resigns over alleged certificate forgery. Barrister, we had you a couple of days back, and we were talking about that particular issue.
Yes.
At the time, it was alleged. We didn't know if it was true or false, but today he has resigned, which means to a great extent it is true that he falsified that results. How damaging is this to the administration of President Bola Tinubu?
Very damaging. What it means is that the administration didn't do due diligence in these appointments. And when it did appoint these people, the screening they went through, the DSS screening, the National Assembly screening, and every other screening they did. For him to have escaped all this means that there's serious loophole in our system. Remember the former Minister for Finance, the woman from the UK?
Yes.
Yes, it was on
Kemi,
had the same issue. Hers is that she didn't serve. She didn't have NYC, compulsory NYC process, certificate and the rest of that. And she was vilified to the point where she had to resign. And this one has to do with the fact that when they wrote to the school, Premium Times did that, the school, they were able to confirm that he was admitted into the school, okay? But the school was unable to confirm his graduation. So what it means is that he gained admission into the school and perhaps did not finish. Otherwise, he should have been able to provide, because the result he presented, the school said they didn't issue it. Okay? And he had no choice than to resign. I think that is the way to go. But if truly he falsified that result, then the police must investigate and prosecute him.
Okay.
Because forgery under our law is a serious offense. Well, a simple offense, because the penalty ranges between 3 to 4 years imprisonment. So
Options of fines, is there?
no option of fine. Is there option of? I can't remember there's option of fine for that. I can't remember there's option of fine. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll check our criminal laws. Okay, so it tells you a lot about the kind of people that parade the corridor of power in Nigeria. These are people that have no certificate. I've been saying these things for a very long time. Most politicians don't have certificates. Just like Bishop Cook has said in one of his books, his article, talking about in Nigeria, those who have first class, you understand, are employed by those who didn't go to school. And those who don't have result at all, don't have any result, are the ones that preoccupy the political arena, and they're the ones that emerge as president, vice president, governors, and the rest of that. Buhari, for example, didn't have a proper result. The ones he presented, he had F9 all through. And we're expecting him to use that brain to do magic to the economy. You understand? We've seen it. The current president, too, had issues with his certificate. They all have issues with their certificate, but there's never a time they are disciplined enough to study and graduate. They are not disciplined enough to study and graduate. And it tells you a lot about many of them. So we had the former Senate president, the same thing. We've had that issue. Some of them even outrightly buy a result from universities and polytechnics. And if you go to those schools, you'll see the records. And they just claim that they went to school. But if you look at it, it's just because we are too arrogant, pompous, and sometimes nonsensical in our approach to issue. The Constitution didn't say you must go to any school to be a minister or whatsoever. The Constitution didn't even say you should go to school. The Constitution just said that just prove that you attempted SSE. There's nothing in the law that says you go to school. You can just be born, just remain like that. When you're of age, attempt SSE or its equivalent.
It is an evidence. Yes.
SSE or its equivalent. They didn't say go to school. Then present it is sufficient. That's what the Constitution is saying. Okay? So why do you now need to go and be submitting a degree you don't have?
Well, given the magnanimity of his position and the ministry he was given, Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology.
Yes, it is required.
Very big.
Yes, so it is required that you must. So the law now says you must present a certificate for university that you don't have. You see this thing there, and you see nobody's talking about the state that nominated him.
Enugu State.
Yes, you see that nobody's talking about the state that nominated him because a state nominated him, they pushed him out there. You understand? That state didn't do their due diligence.
But why would the state do due diligence when the state governor himself has an issue with NYC?
Yes, he has an NYC issue. Yeah. And you cannot be a public servant without the NYC certificate or the discharge certificate. Those are the two requirements. You can have all the degree in this or have PhD. If you don't have those two, to be a public servant, you can't, because what it means is that as at the time you are supposed to serve your country, contribute to, you didn't do that. There are a lot of people who wanted to serve, but they were above the age, so they gave them this certificate, which is the same as the NYC certificate. Yes. Okay, you understand? So you must possess that if you have gone to higher institution. You understand? But unfortunately, many of our leaders didn't go to higher institution. Remember my governor when they were talking about the issue of the when they had their primaries and the rest of that. And after the outcome and all that, the document submitted was under contention. Many of them have these issues. Okay, to say that many of them didn't go to school, it's not an overstatement. But to say that the law did not require you to even go to any school, to even be the president, and then you go. You see, your problem starts when you now present misrepresentation. You are misrepresenting facts. It's fraud. It's falsehood. When you falsify certificate, you understand? Some of us that have certificate don't even have any job. The ones that don't have any certificate are the ones that they are appointing here and there to go and be minister of innovation. You know what? The word innovation is too heavy for you to leave it in the hands of a mediocre fraudster. You understand? Innovation means that you must be vast in character and learning first to start with. You must be fit and proper in character and learning to start with. You must be vast in, you must be well traveled, and you should know where the world is at every point in time. Not everyone know where the world is at every point in time. So it's unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So how does this, or how might this affect Nigeria's image globally?
It's a serious blow. It's a serious blow. Our image has been so battered. Our image has been so battered. I saw the news this morning. I was so angry, where the Christian Association of Nigeria came out to debunk the American, the news going around in America and Canada that the terrorists are not killing Christians in northern Nigeria. Can you imagine? Is that the truth? They're about to shoot themselves when they say it's not, they are doing, but it's not a religious base. It's not, you already say they are not. You are moving forward in that same letter to say that they are, but it's not, it's religion blind. It's not a particular religion. You are confusing yourself. If you have to be confused that way, don't respond. Leave it like that. That's how it's supposed to be. So what are they trying to achieve now with that? So I'm telling you about our image, generally speaking. Our image, so our solicitation to join the Security Council of the United Nations is thrown at the basket of our image as a country. So why shouldn't we be there where the most populated black, we can represent the entire black race. You understand? Yes. But why are we not there? We image. We have image issue as we speak. We don't have ambassadors across the world. So how are we going to be in that security? Security. How are you going to do it? So the issue about image of the Nigerian state is one that must be taken very seriously. Very seriously. We must be high and up there. And then we must do things proper. This one is even marked. Okay, this president also did it. One President Buhari used to appoint dead people. He will make appointment, out of the appointment, maybe like 2-3% of that appointment are dead people. You understand? So then he give national award. You understand? Many of the people are dead people. And they believe that they are alive. So first, we don't have database. A country that don't have database, that don't know how many they are. Anybody you ask will say whereabouts. We are either 200 million people or 220 million people, depending on who you ask. And that's not the way to go. We should know how many we are in this country. And should be to put that information out there. So you are coming from a country where you don't know how many we are in population, you want to sit in the Security Council. I don't think we are doing the right thing.
All right, from there, I would love us to move on to the other story, a countdown to 2027, Tinubu to pick new INEC chair this week. Barrister, speak to us on this. And the likelihood of one gentleman they called Mr. Omikmoton, is likely would be picked. Remember the southwest of Nigeria.
No, that has happened already now.
It has happened.
He has picked.
He has picked someone already?
Yes.
Wow.
This man from from Delta State. He didn't pick Mopita. He picked Mbu that he picked from Delta State.
Oh, that's breaking news.
Yes, that is the most senior person in INEC as we speak after Mahmood.
Oh.
Yes, that has been picked for that assignment. Yes, it's in the news already today.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's in the news of the newspapers we are reviewing, but on the online version.
Oh,
because you know what you have here.
Updated.
Yeah, what you have here.
Yes.
Where yesterday news that they concluded midnight.
Yes, earlier.
So anything that happened between midnight and now will be in the online version.
Okay.
Okay.
You understand? So if you check, even the paper we are reviewing now, if you check their online version, all of them.
Really?
You will see the news there, you will get the name. Mbu is the last name, but there's a first name that comes before Mbu.
Okay.
Okay, it's from Delta State. Is the one that have been picked for this assignment.
Okay.
And he's been in INEC for so long. He's the next in command after Mahmoud. And he's been picked from within.
Okay.
He's been picked from within. That looks like.
It's a lady actually, May Agbamuche Mbu. Yes, May Agbamuche
Mbu.
Replaces Professor Mahmoud Yakubu as INEC acting national chairman.
Yes.
As INEC acting national chairman, does that mean she's just sitting in?
No, you start with acting. No, you start with acting. When that assignment is being given, you are appointed as acting. You understand? Subject to National Assembly's what do you call it, confirmation before you are properly appointed. All those positions. If you look at section 135 of the 1999 Constitution, where the constitution lists all those institutions. You understand?
Yeah.
Appointment into all those institutions start with acting. Even EFCC and the rest of that. When they appointed the current EFCC, they appoint him as acting first. You start as acting within 3 months. That's a probative period.
Did we have that for Mahmoud Yakubu?
Of course, he was appointed acting.
Acting, oh,
He
really?
took over from Jega.
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
took
okay.
over from Jega, then appointed acting. Jega left it off 2015 after he conducted the election that brought him Buhari. And then he left. Now, having concluded 10 years prescribed by the constitution, the current person under reference was appointed by Buhari.
Okay.
And has since completed his 10 years period in administration. So is to give way for another person.
All right, that's really awesome. Me Agbamuche Mbu, acting INEC chairman. Do we see a repeat of Abia State phenomena if that is ever possible?
Well, coincidentally, the Abia State woman delivered a speech not too long ago. I don't know if you saw it on the internet, where he chronicled her history and her upbringing, and said at no point in her life has she sold handout. You know, she's a professor.
She's a professor.
That at no point in her life has she taken money from students or involved in any malpractice or whatsoever. That is something she will never do. I think Abia State is like there's an event organized for her or something to maybe congratulate her or something, but I don't know the details. But it was at that event, because the governor was there, where she made those statements. And if not for her, to be frank with you, if not for her, that state will still remain in that. So a drop of this kind of people, even the people that will change things and all, they know it's not everybody. You just see a hand. Just look at the alignment now. Look at the governor, who was everly ready and prepared. Okay, this woman, that alignment happened. And sometimes the cosmic administration of the universe allowed that to happen, just so you have alignment, and then you have development. You understand? The governor has said it that by the time you finish with Abia State, that Lagos will look like a village. And it's serious.
Even if it's being contested by our young gentleman, Carlo
said that the next election, that Abia State, that the APC is going to take over from. But I don't think that is consequential. Why is he not talking about the giant stride of the Labour Party, championed by the current governor, and what the current governor is doing in that state? You need to see what this man is doing in that state. I mean, you see, all the states in the southeast now are under pressure, especially Anambra State, because Solodo appears not to be performing.
Yes, definitely.
You understand? So they are seriously under pressure. The only state coming close is Imo, and that is the man highly rejected. You understand? The man that is called Supreme Court Governor, but is the second because the Ebonyi that used to be top there. The current governor is not doing as much
as Dave Umahi had done.
He had done. You understand? So you are now left with Abia and Imo.
Enugu is doing.
Enugu is doing very well, except for the scandals here and there. But Enugu is doing fantastically well. We had a conference in Enugu, and to be frank with you, what we saw at the conference, will surprise you. Wow. Because, I mean, the security alone. Okay, at the conference, and we were practically surrounded by security forces at the conference. Practically surrounded, you understand? And they had to divert traffic to the point where you just have to be a lawyer to be in that vicinity. And things went so smoothly. There was no congestion anywhere because of the conference. This place is affected. No, the market during the conference was wonderful. The Mami market, the planning, everything. Yes. So the state was really heavily involved. You understand? Unlike in some states where you take the conference to, the state is partially involved. It's like they are there, they are not there. This one, the entire workforce of the state. Well, and that is why he made that mark. It went viral internationally. Okay? So kudos to the Enugu state governor. He's doing very well. And we talk about road network because Enugu from beginning is planned.
Yeah.
Just is planned. So and then what we saw there gave me a lot of hope about the southeast.
I'm sure people that are from Enugu State will be so proud of their states.
They were very. I mean, it's something to reckon with when you see a governor doing the event center itself. It's about the best in the southeast. International, conference center. The Abia State want to build one
wants
now.
to build something like that.
Something like that. So if we duplicate it across the southeast, we are looking at an international center. The Nigerians in diaspora who are from that state are also, contributing a lot to see that things change.
All right, so we hope that the new INEC chair will do amazingly well, because the truth remains, the reason we have been deficit with respect to development and growth is simply because we've not gotten it right.
Yeah, one thing that gives me hope. One thing that gives me hope there is that she's coming from within, or is coming from within. Unlike before, when people are brought in, once they are professor of political science, you just bring them from university in. This one, then when they get in, they start to learn on the job. Because a professor is a Nigerian professor is at best a theorist. You understand? The professor of political science that may not have seen ballot box before, or may have seen it but may not have really. But this one is coming from within. She's not going to learn at the job. She has learned already. So what we expect is projection. As against when you bring in somebody, now be using citizens' mandate to learn. The mandate of the citizen is sacred. It's like their life. When they donate it, they are saying, we are putting this down as a burnt offering or a sacrifice to determine the next phase of our lives. That is why whenever you have a leader that disappoints the people, it pains them, because it's like taking 4 years of your life. You write a check and give somebody and say, this is 4 years of my future. Take this check, use it, and make the next 4 years of my life different from what I've seen. When you get there and you take all that and you now devalue the mandate, so it's very painful, and we see that repeatedly. So we believe that perhaps she will be able to do what is expected in this case.
Very well said. Accountability is the key. But just before we let go for this particular segment, Barrister, let's talk about the reeve of the moment. I know you've watched it. The interview between Rufai Hussaini and Dave Umahi is at the center of everything right now. What's your take on that?
Well, the two parties had grievances. They had beef within themselves, and I see that as a consequential clash was going to happen because the last time Dave Umahi was dead, it was the same thing.
Yes.
And so that anger, and they took it forward. David Umahi should understand first that he's no longer a governor. You understand? Everything is under him. It's the way he shut down journalists. Sometimes, even in his press conferences, we've seen videos of how, even Arise correspondents and the other, the way he shut them down when they ask questions he doesn't like and the rest of that. He shut people down. Rufai on his own needs to be diplomatic. Journalism is not war. You understand? Yes, Umahi can walk away from there.
Yes, very well.
Journalism is not war. It's not the Constitution says in Section 22 that the responsibility of a journalist is to hold government accountable to the people.
Okay.
Not to declare war against your guests.
But can we maybe put a parameter to what holding accountable is? It's just like a doctor. It's only when he touches or he holds on to a patient that he knows where the pain is.
Yes.
So could there be a parameter to say, okay, a journalist must not go overboard, or I don't think
there's ethics in the profession. It's your profession, okay? When you are interviewing a guest, there are things someone like Shewa Kimbaloye can actually extract more from Dave Umahi, cause him to talk more, put him in more trouble than
without unnecessarily causing chaos.
Yes, and they will be laughing. They will be friends, but he will be in big trouble Because once you leave that place, it will go viral.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And Shehu can still call Devumai the next day. And Devumai will say, you this boy. You understand? So it's style. You understand?
Very true.
Now, Rufai's style is antagonistic. His style, you need to be very patient before you're able to. People like Devumai is hot-tempered. Yeah, he's not patient. He does not want to Rufai. Like, Rufai got to some point, he was telling the minister that, keep quiet, let me talk.
Yes.
You understand? He keep quiet, let me talk. Then the next thing, he pushed him to say things he ought not to say. See, he's a professor in this field. Then Rufai went there too. Two of them were petty. That which university gave you the professorship and all that. He said, no, I'm a professor in practice in this thing. He's trying to say, what he's trying to say in effect is that I am a professional, okay, in construction and building and civil engineering. So I know this thing. I don't want to give you, because what Rufai was trying to do is, by the time Devumai say that per kilometer costs 4 billion, the next thing Nigerians will carry calculator. They now say the thing is 700 something kilometers times 4 billion times.
Yes.
That's what they want to do. But you know, see, every kilometer cannot cost the same. Because you have some places that are swampy. Like within the Lekki corridor, through down before you even get to Ondo.
Yeah.
Those corridors are highly swampy. They are not solid ground. So per kilometer there will cost more. There are places where the soil is weak, where they need to excavate the entire soil and put new one before they so there are places where you have solid rock soil where you don't need to excavate. All you need to do is to clear, weed and they put up. So you can't have the same. But Rufai is trying to say that you must give us the measurement that each kilometer should put. Ordinarily, road construction is cost by kilometers. That is, Rufai is not wrong with that question. But what the Rufai need to do is to let him know that you can't have a flat rate.
Okay.
That's you educate. Because see, the answer is not to Rufai, it's to the audience.
Yes.
And most of them are experts who understand this better.
Yes. Most of them are experts. So if you are saying the wrong thing, many people know who are engineers. It's like you talking the wrong law, and I'm watching. I just sometimes we watch Nollywood and we see them in court, and we just laugh because what there is drama. It doesn't come close to practice. So that's how it is. All you need to just say, okay, this is you can't get a flat rate, but from the Lekki axis of it, this is what it will cost because of the terrain and all that. You may not even need to say figures. And Rufai would have been satisfied at the end of the day. Deep explanation comes with certain reassurance. You understand? First of all, there's suspicion. The fact that an average minister in Nigeria has skeleton in his cupboard. So that suspicion is in the mind of Rufai. Then there's defense to that. Devumai is not going to give in to that. We want to defend that in totality. So at the end of the day, he ends up with anger and issues like that before you know it. So from both ends, there are people who have criticized Rufai. I criticized Rufai from one end for being too antagonistic, in a sense, unnecessary. Then I also blame Devumai for trying to shut down. The best you could have done is not to honor the invitation.
Very well.
Yes, because many of these politicians, these ministers and government functionaries, that they honor the invitation when they know what is ahead. You know that you're going to meet Rufai and it's going to be the way he is. But you see, honor the invitation. And Reuben Abati, who looked like he's tired of he's tired of intervening every time, because the last one they had the occasion, there was Reuben Abati that intervened and said that these questions that Rufai was asking can be asked elsewhere, not on this show. And that brought a lot of bad blood between him and Rufai, and people went against Abati. A lot of people on Twitter and all that went against him. So, but now he seems to have learned that when these people are clashing, he shouldn't wade in. He should allow them to do their thing, so that today we are not talking about Ruben Abati
Yes.
on this issue. We are talking about Rufai and this man. If Ruben Abati had entered and said something, the attention will shift to him.
Yes.
So he seems to have understood what is going on. So by and large, it's for the growth of Nigeria, for the betterment of Nigeria, and the rest of that. But I think Rufai should apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, given that in our culture, the younger person,
Yes.
there are a lot of people who may not like what I'm saying. Yes, and Rufai is not. He does not. He has on many occasions apologized to the president of the country.
Yes.
Yes, on the show.
Yes, he has done that.
Yeah, so he should do that, and let the man know that it's for the growth of Nigeria. The passion is not personal. It's not for personal gain. How much are they paying?
Exactly.
Yeah, how much are you receiving in all this? So it's just that let's see things work. If things can work, all this pain we are putting, all this explanation we are putting, just to make sure that things work. And David Umahi, for once, I mean, we should give it to him. He's a performer.
No, he has actually.
Yes, he's a performer. His pedigree is there. You can see what he has done over time. You understand? Was a no-nonsense person too. You understand? When they protested in during I think it was the NSAS or so, he went around and said this was built by government and they've destroyed it. They say, I will not replace it. He's a no-nonsense man. So both sides, trying to work for the country, for the general mass and the good of Nigeria. They stumble at different ends, but I think Rufai should apologize.
All right, we will leave it at that. And on a lighter mood, the comic actor, Governor Amuneke, actually wrote Dave Rufai Hussein and told him to leave his colleagues alone. Yes, political.
You want to defend his colleagues now.
There's an interview that also did. He did an interview with one the same
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
They replicated the interview and he came there with a stick.
Oh my God.
And when the presenter asked the question, he used the stick
All right.
You want to defend his colleagues.
Yes. All right. In all, what we actually request is for a change in value system, because if it's good for one person, it's good for everyone, and that's what we wish for. And just to let you know, the barrister would be here to take us on our main conversation. That's when we return. President Tinubu moves to raise $2.8 billion for budget and infrastructure project. It's still enterprise money, and don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Thank you so very much for joining us. This is still Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our conversation for today. President Bola Tinubu has requested the House of Representatives approval for $2.3 billion in external borrowing and $500 million for Nigeria's debut sovereign Sukuk. In a letter read by Speaker Tajudeen Abbas, Tinubu said the loans would fund the 2025 budget, refinance maturing Eurobond, and diversify funding sources through Islamic finance.
Very true. He explains that Nigeria's $1.180 billion Eurobond due in November 2025 would be refinanced to prevent default and maintain investor confidence.
Equally, the president has asked the lawmakers to to source through Eurobonds, syndicated loans, or bridge financing, adding that the Finance Ministry and the DMO would secure the best market terms.
Tinubu also sought approval to issue a $500 million international Sukuk backed by the Islamic Development Bank's credit guarantee if necessary.
He said the move builds on Nigeria's domestic Sukuk success, which has raised 1.39 trillion naira since 2017 for infrastructure and pledged to uphold a prudent debt management. We still have Barrister Vansufeli. Let's get talking on this particular matter. Barrister, we were so excited when President Bola Tinubu said that he has met the target to our finance and he would not borrow domestically again. Now, but this is external borrowing, $2.8 billion and $500 million from Sukuk. I would love to believe it's an Islamic banking system. I would love to believe. What's your take on this?
Yeah, not both are Sukuk. One is
the other one,
and the other one, yes. Let me start with the first. The first one is it was stated in the budget, the 2025 budget, that the federal government is going to borrow to fund that budget, because when you look at our quota in terms of crude and the cost that was benchmarked in the process of coming out with the budget, you will see that we are supposed to borrow for the deficit.
Yes.
Okay, and that is what they are talking about now. But you see, the previous loan we have taken so far, apart from the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, I've not seen any visible project again that is that, because when we're borrowing and for infrastructure, we should be seeing the infrastructure. You understand? We should be seeing the work going on. A lot of people said there's a lot of work going on, really. That apart from the Lagos-Calabar Coastal, there are a lot of roads that are going on. Okay, and they are concrete roads. Okay, well, I've seen part of Shagamu, that of Benin, which is areas that are applied recently, and some other areas. But you see, the problem with borrowing is that they said it's good to borrow. That's not bad as far as you are using it to reboost infrastructure that will in turn, give value and the rest of that. But at the end of the day, it appears to me that these are borrowing. It's not. I don't think we are really making a kill out of it. Like, our economy is really responding to it. I don't think our economy, like someone that's not responding to treatment. I don't, because our economy is inflation is still at, even though they are telling us
they are telling us it's been debased, but we still know it's 21.2%.
Yes, it's still there.
Yes.
You understand? The exchange rate is still bad. Because we are still saying, because now we are talking as if the exchange rate is now okay. It's about 1,400 something to the dollar.
Yeah.
So it's still bad. You understand? Then when you look at the macroeconomy, I mean, the growth in the economy, it's not even it's not the right one about. How many percent growth do we have in the economy as we speak? The Bureau of Statistics, the last time they gave us figures on this, it was abysmal. You understand? So how is this thing helping us? This loan that we're taking. For the loan, I don't think we have success there. But for the Sukuk, which is an Islamic compliance certificate, like a bond.
Yes.
But not the same with the bond, because bond you have interest. But for the Sukuk, you don't have interest. You only have profits.
Yes.
Now, this Sukuk is that, people will take up this and put down investment, put down funds that constitute investment, and they now have a stake in the project, such that they now get profit from it, not necessarily that they get interest. And that is the difference between Sukuk and the bond, is that one is interest induced, the other is just profit induced. One is interest induced and profit induced. One is only profit induced. So that's the difference. And if you look at the major stride we've had in road construction in Nigeria, it has been that Sukuk. the major stride we had from Jonathan time. Okay, most of the road constructed then with the minister then Onolo Meme from Edo State then, all those roads throughout even Buhari's times, the few roads that they did were all through that we had. So for me, I will not criticize the 500 as coming from the Sukuk, but for the loan, which is, we've seen situations where projects have been awarded and abandoned, and funds, the initial 30% that goes to contractor, based on procurement acts. Okay, usually sometimes they are released and these projects are not completed, or they are not even properly started and executed. So the National Assembly needs to look back and this time ask the president, the previous loan taken so far, let's have a report.
Do you think they have the spine to do
They
this?
don't. They don't have the spine. Because they are supposed to give us a report of those infrastructure and name them, give us the stage where they are, and let the National Assembly carry out an oversight. An oversight you mean to visit those.
Yes.
That is the way to go. That will not put you in bad light with the executive. Just that we don't want to do anything. You're supposed to submit a report of how far. So that how far you have gone will determine the approval of this one, of the next one you're asking for. Not that you keep asking for loan and the projects are not seeing it. So that is my take on it.
Okay, so should Nigerians be worried about the growing reliance on external borrowing for budget financing?
Yes, now we have to be worried, seriously worried, because when we go outside to borrow, it means that even if federal government issue bonds and what do you call the other one? Treasury bills, which is actually from bonds, which actually represent the bonds. There was a time under the Buhari government, the federal government went about looking for all unclaimed dividends in banks.
Yes.
Any money anywhere that nobody has claimed, federal government wanted to borrow it. They wanted to clear everything. You understand? Because they needed to fund that budget at that time. They had to even come up with the new Finance Act. You understand? And try as much as they could to do, but we are still in debt. So, when you take loan outside the country, it's called sovereign debt. Sovereign debt, that's what it's called. Okay, it puts your country at serious disadvantage. Yes, because even the investors who are coming in, they look at your sovereign loan. Okay. If you are not self-sufficient, it begins to look like your country, the citizens are not even empowered. Citizens are not empowered. Okay, so there are so many parameters that investors will check. Among the priority is insecurity. We have that in huge supply. Insecurity, we have that in huge supply. So, and other things that, political stability. You understand? Is it a country that can sustain democracy? Or if you wake up one day, a president will remove a governor. Those are things they check. Or the military can just take over at any time. Political stability, they check that. Security, they check that. They check your GDP. Okay. They check your GDP. They check your investment in education. You understand? They check your investment in the total growth of the country and the collective vision of the country. These are things that they check before they come in. And if you are in deficit of many of these, it will be difficult. That's why we're flying all over the place looking for investors. Investors are not hard to get. Many of them were here. We refused to take care of electricity. They started moving to where there's electricity. Did the Ghanaian government, did they fly to Lagos to tell Cabri that Cabri should shut down here and come to Ghana? Did they come here to tell the Liver brothers or the Unilever to shut down here and come to Ghana? They didn't do anything. They were just in their country, making sure that they had constant power supply. And that power supply were the ones supplying them that power. Nigeria was supplying that power for them. They were paying for it. Constant. And what we're giving to them has now taken our investors from us now. So, any investor that leave your country, they leave with a huge mark, a big hole, because as they leave, your unemployment quotient rises. Misery index rises. You understand? The misery index in Nigeria now, go and check by the Bureau of Statistics. You will see what it is. Before it was living less than $1 per day. Now it's living less than $0. So the misery index is horrible. An investor will check misery index because they know that if misery index is very high, if they come to sites, factories, boys will come out from different places. One said to us, that misery index is critical.
Yes, it's actually quite disturbing. I read an article by some Chinese investors who have written to their friends and their brothers and their colleagues on why they should not invest in Lagos, especially with the recent demolitions happening in Lagos here and there.
Yeah.
Because what they cited was that most of those buildings and properties that were demolished were people who erected it because they wanted to source materials and products from China. So Chinese people wouldn't want to come, but they have ready market of people who have already paid and invested. But now that their properties is being demolished, they won't come again. And that is already a red flag. And we don't see some of these things as minute as they are. We don't see them.
We don't see them, and that is why the Chinese are moving to Ogun State. They are no longer moving investment to Lagos State. They are moving to Ogun State massively. If you check all those bush and all that, they put them over to side factories. There's a serious industrial revolution going on in Nigeria, but we don't know. It's silence. The Chinese, the Lebanese, and the Indians. Unfortunately, they are not the best kind of business people. Given our situation, we need serious countries like Germany. Come here, set up plants. Countries like the United States, Germany, or the Scandinavians, Norway, and the rest of them. And those are the kind of this thing you have. When they populate this place, in no time, unemployment will drop, and then people will begin to, see, even the economy itself will take shape. The government can provide security, which they ought to do, provide that security, and if they two things, provide security and provide electricity, automatically you will see that this whole space will change. Because electricity will not only bring foreign investors, it will also breed startups within. And the Chinese economy grew in leaps and bounds by startups. You understand? Startups will not. Chinese don't have foreign direct investment.
That's true.
They don't. People don't go there to say they are the ones.
Yeah, the one they created their own.
So
themselves.
Based on the Chinese Revolution, you know what it did to them. So they are all over the world.
It means the Chinese, they are more of like dominating a particular space.
Yeah, because they are much too. They are much now. The India and China, they are the highest.
India, in fact, their population is I think it's more than China.
Yeah, it's about a billion plus. Yes. But let's take a look at excuses and those within the corridor of power. Economists have found a way to justify all of these borrowings. They said that the floating of the Naira might not look like what we see, because what it means is if they borrow 5 trillion, that is actually 2.5 trillion, not 5 trillion. Because as at the time when dollar was 700 or 400 and you borrow a billion, right, it remains a billion. But now that is 1,500 to a dollar and you borrow a billion, what you have actually borrowed is 500 million.
half of the money.
Yes.
Because
so does it even make sense? Yes.
No, I understand. See, I'm not against the borrowing.
Yes.
I'm not against. In fact, the federal government can even write more letters to the National Assembly. You understand? I'm saying the ones we have taken so far, the investment in infrastructure. Can we have a report, a midterm report? Because this is 2 years now, right? So this is midterm now.
Yeah.
This is about.
No, we've gone past.
We've gone past midterm. I mean, half after.
Yeah.
So, is it not? Can the National Assembly put a demand, the executive, to provide a report of what they've done so far with the ones already acquired? That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying borrowing. There's no way you're not going to borrow now. There's no way. I mean, if you want to improve your infrastructure and the rest of that, we're talking power, we're talking... even in all this borrowing, none is even tied to electricity. For us to even secure one move, because this government believes that this Jinko thing can solve the problem of electricity. In many places that solve the problem of electricity, but they are highly residential places where
not industrial that actually need the power.
Not industrial. Yes, industrial is where the issue. That's where the money is. You understand? Take for example the area where we are now is virtually 24 hours supply. Virtually 24 hours supply. Most countries in the world don't get it better than you have it here. Okay, but the truth is that is it sufficient? Can this change our economy? Can we grow from here? That's the question. So, if we need investors, remember those investors are coming from areas where you have constant power supply.
Yeah.
So they are not going to come here and start to carry generator and carry this up and down because they want to, the ones who are already here are already used to it. The likes of the telecommunications and the rest of that are used to it. They are used to doing business here, and they have mastered the edges and the banks and all that. You understand? You know how the banks run generator from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m. and the rest of that. How the courts do that, how everyone is running. Why can't you have electricity for all these industries? Why can't you have electricity? If you have electricity for this industry, not only will the prices of their goods and services reduce, because there's a cost inflation that go with high cost of doing business, which is passed over to the end user. Okay. Yes, if I use generator to produce this phone, and it costs me 1 million naira to produce it, okay, I'm going to add maybe like 200,000 naira or 100,000 naira to it as the cost inflation I'm passing to the end user. So at the end of the day, things are costly because they are produced under very expensive condition.
Okay.
Yes. So you pass cost inflation on top, because that's what they call running costs. You cannot produce and sell below running costs. Yes. So you factor in salary, you factor in rent, you factor in electricity, you factor in logistics, you factor in everything. At the time you are arriving at the cost per unit, you understand, it has escalated. But if you have power supply and you have some of these other variables, such that you don't need to run it on units of what you have produced, then you can get it as low as possible. That's why they say government should not be in business, but they should provide the enabling environment. The enabling environment is that constant power supply, that's security. Okay, when you have that, then you are good to go. Even with the risk, to tell you how profitable Nigeria is, even with the issue of insecurity, the Chinese, the Lebanese, and the Indians is sticking their neck out.
They're still making it.
Yes, one of them are still coming illegally into the country. There are a lot of illegal that had just visiting visa. They got here, the next thing you find them in sight, walking in sight. And many of them are even doing illegal mining, something that you cannot do in their country. You try, you can never return home. They are doing it here. If you go to our court, you see them being paraded every day at the Federal High Court. They are being charged with different offenses. Our prison, a lot of them are there. Even internet fraud. The other time the EFCC released
yes, about 200 plus Chinese nationals
at VI.
Yeah, at VI.
A whole building.
Took it over.
And also, so while you have the positive, you have the negative. But all government need to do is to ensure that the environment is okay to do. And this is going to be a win-win situation. If you have constant power supply, the industries will pay more. And like what I mean pay more is that both the industry and the power holding company or whatever we have a win-win situation, because constant power supply will mean we'll be able to work with light throughout. Yeah. And if we are seeing light, if you give us bill, we'll pay.
Very well.
So that's it.
All right, Barrister, just before we call it a quit for the show, do you have some questions for Barrister?
I think he has even said it.
All right. Okay, so let's speak to sub-sovereign states and their borrowing tendencies. Godswill Akpabio, a couple of days back, said that he is aware that no state in Nigeria borrows any longer. And that's because President Bola Tinubu knows how to stand in the gap.
No, they are still borrowing. You shouldn't say that. That's not true. Maybe he's no longer a governor, so as he come in, well, he may know. I won't dismiss him totally. But I know that Delta State, the state where I'm from, they are owing. I know that. So you shouldn't be saying that they are not borrowing. Has he gone around the 36 states to check their books or what? Does he have the right to do that by law? So to just say that they are no longer borrowing, he may say that the claim that what the federal government is saving from the subsidy, it is sharing it among the sub-sovereigns, the component states, which is true. Okay, so their allocation, their whatever it is, their allocation has increased much more than it was before. Okay, given that subsidy is now, so for very poor states, their revenue has also increased. That is correct. But to say that because of that, they are no longer borrowing again. If you go to some states, if you see the kind of projects going on in some states, there was a time, not too long ago now, they brought out the same Alex that you were talking about. They brought, he is a money man.
Yes, he understands finance and knows how to go about it.
And knows how to get it.
Yes.
So they brought out a report that the state is owing so and so. But that's not important. What is important is that whatever the state is owing, there's infrastructure on ground already for the citizens to thrive, and the state will collect tax. You understand? There's nobody with conscience in Abia State that government will come to have to pay tax, that will not pay tax. Yes. What's going on? And that's the confidence people are talking about, that if government have delivered, the area of their market as we speak is being transformed.
Yes. I saw the image and I was
and there are new alliances for heavy export of goods, and there are other MOUs, bilaterals that have been signed to improve quality standard, quality assurance of products. I'm talking about manufacturing now, which is critical, which is one of the biggest. You see, China became what they are today because of manufacturing. If you're not manufacturing, you're just consuming in a global economy, in a digitized world where the things that are produced in Nigeria here, okay, in some African countries, the likes of Burundi and the rest of that, it's like you are bringing product from America. You understand? So we used to have made in Nigerian goods.
Yeah.
Made in Nigeria, you wear sandals to school, made in Nigeria. Yes. So now that Aba Aziz is opening up and they are bringing in new machineries and government is supporting that cause, if he gets a second term, by the time he is able to put in 8 years of that consistency, whoever is coming will have no choice than to take the bar up further. So that is how nation, that is how country grow. That is by, being serious about what you are doing. Everything is not about embezzlement. Assemble the right team. Do something significant. Okay? Lagos is doing something about tourism now. There's this competition they want to have.
Yes, it's been done already.
It's concluded already.
The e-boat
stuff. So that boosts tourism. Because when I look at Lagos, I look at New York, I don't see any difference. The waterways, the the way the houses rest on the sea and the topography and everything. There's no difference. No difference in Lagos and New York. No difference. A lot of similarities. Yeah. So, and in New York, you take a boat, you move from there to there, you pay $20 and all that. Why can't we do that?
Unfortunately, what would have been seen as the New Jersey of Nigeria, which is Ogun State, is not profiting from the New York of Nigeria, which is Lagos. Abiodun just launched an airport, which lots of people say, how many people would love to use that airport rather than connect the red line and the blue line from Lagos to Abeokuta and other sides of Ogun State? He rather preferred an airport.
Yeah, that is one of the problems we have, so that it will come in his name and the rest of that. Ogun State is not taking advantage of this proximity to Lagos at all. Just like you said, New Jersey is just a stone throw from. In fact, many people prefer to live in New Jersey and work in New York because New Jersey is cheaper to stay, and you know, the same topography, almost the same kind of lifestyle, but you know, it's better to go own houses or homes in New Jersey than to. So, but Ogun State is not doing that. Ogun State would rather sell the whole of their land to religious institutions, where they congregate and, you know, bombard the heavens with the prayers, things that have no economic content and the rest of that, than to form alliance. Form alliance. They are almost the same kind of people. So it's easy. And if you have, if they partner with this blue line and whatever, the two states, it's going to generate a lot of revenue for both sides.
Very so well. Yes.
Both sides, because even though the only part where Ogun State have benefited from Lagos is the issue of tax, and Ogun State is not very serious with that tax because the law of tax say you pay tax where you reside and not where you work. Many people reside in Ogun State and work in Lagos.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the resources, when they are paid salary, Ogun State will collect the tax. If Ogun State is even serious with just tax, it can make enough money to run that state and run it proper. Because it's a very big state, border everywhere, about 8 states. Yes. You understand? So I expect the Ogun State government to do more. Ogun State is one place that you can never find one good road. I'm just telling you. And they have this proximity, these resources they could tap in, and I don't know. And their governors, there's something peculiar about them. Their governors, successive and present, are never in good terms. They are never in good terms. So that one is working against them too.
All right, we just have to leave it for now and hope for better days ahead. Thank you so very much, Barrister, for being here.
My pleasure.
Truly do appreciate you. All right, that's just about the time we have. Love to say thank you to you for making this a date. Please do well to follow us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike.
And I am Kenby Bodu.
Have yourself a splendid day and stay tuned for other interesting programs coming up on Enterprise Television. Bye-bye from us.
See you next time.
Cheers.